Hi all, Karen here. Today we're going to be making this gatefold card that when you take the belly band off and open it up, it actually has a shadow box on the inside. This is a really simple card. There's only 2 pieces to score, and then the rest of it is all decorative panels. I wanted to show you that there's different ways to do this. This one we're going to be making using the Crafter's Companion Night Before Christmas. 'Twas the Night Before Christmas from last year. We're going to be using the nesting dies here, which is a frame, and then the nesting die on the inside. We have a couple of the leaves, and the greeting is from this set here. And you'll see the gold mirror card was run through this embossing folder. And you also see during the video that I changed my mind partway through of how I was going to do the front. But, you know, that's okay. Sometimes when you get to the end, you're like, that's not the way I want to do it. And that is perfectly fine. So this one here was also made with Crafter's Companion paper and a Hunky Dory paper pad, which is the same place the Santa Claus came from. And I'm not sure which collection that came from. It was in a kit. There's just some snowflakes. And then this last one used Pink and Main's Snow Globe Scene. That's where I got the sentiment, the Merry Christmas. And the Christmas squares. So this one also has a belly band on it. We'll slide the belly band off. And this one I put 2 holes, 2 apertures in it, and I put the sentiment in the middle, the greeting, up on foam. So there is plenty of room to put it on foam. And you really can make this any shape you want. You can put several shapes, big shapes. Anything that is smaller than 3.5 will fit in here fine. And the card is 5 by 7, so I wouldn't go any bigger than 3.5 by maybe 6.5. But besides that, anything you have will fit in here. So let's get started. All right, well, let's get started. So we will need a 1 7 by 10 scored at 2.5 and 7.5. That's going to be the card base. Big piece along here. We will need a 7 by 8 scored at 1/2, 2, 6, and 7.5. That will form the shadow box on the inside. Then for the matten layers, we will need 2 6 by 3/4 by 2 1/4, 2 6.5 by 2 for the front. So that will give you your matten layer. I'll give you these. Then for the smaller inside panels, we will need 1 6 3/4 by 3 3/4, a 6.5 by 3.5. You'll need 2 6 3/4 by 1 1/4, 2 6.5 by 1, and 2 6 3/4 by 1/4, and that's completely optional. That's if you want to put the trim on this outside here. And that's what we'll need. So let's get started. First, let's get the scoreboard out. We'll make our 2 scores. So we have our 7 by 10, and we're going to score at 2.5 and at 7.5. And I'm going to give it one more good score here. I'm going to flip it over since these are the sides that we stretched, and varnish. Then we need to score other paper, which will be the shadow box piece, and that is scored at 1/2, at 2, at 6,
Motion detected at the front door.
and at 7.5. Okay, and that is all for our scoring. And I found it easier. We're going to go ahead and fold and varnish this. This piece I like folding in both directions to loosen up those paper fibers. Now I found it easier to attach all the panels and then glue the two pieces together. So that's what we're going to do this time. So I'm going to get out the glue. First I will attach the panels. So these are your 2 1/4 by 6 3/4, and your 6 1/2 by 2. And what I did with these is I ran them through the embossing folder that was part of this set that had the musical notes on it. All right, let that dry for a moment. All right, now we'll take our 2 skinny panels off. We will glue those together. All right, so here's our 4 panels. Now for the middle piece, let's see. Let's go ahead and glue those panels on first. Get this done. So this will get glued on the front. Make sure my musical notes aren't upside down. Nice and centered. I got a little bit more glue here. All right, and we'll dry. Bring in the piece for the Shadowbox. Now in the middle, this piece will sit here, and I've already stamped my sentiment for the inside. You can stamp any sentiment you want. You can attach it to the top on another panel. For this one, I just decided I was going to stamp directly on there. So this is the just decorative frame. I guess that's all the name it has. And this has the two pieces. It has the frame part here. This works the same as a nesting die, as long as you have the two pieces to form the frame. So I'm going to use this piece to cut the hole, and then where in this one I took two nesting dies one size apart from each other to make the frame, I'm just going to use the frame that came here. So we'll decide where we want the frame. So if you're going to use a fancy frame like this, I would cut the frame out first. Decide where you want the frame. And then you're going to want to tape that down. And once again, I'm going to use my trusty painter's tape. We'll decide where this is going to be. So we'll put that here. Definitely don't want that moving. And let's make sure that will be in a good spot. That looks pretty straight. On this, we will just need to die cut. I am just going to run it through my MIDI so we don't make a lot of noise. Yeah, the frame, to cut out the frame is just a simple die cut. I didn't think anybody needed to watch me do that part. But the lining it up was what you needed to see. Oh, and you know what? I did not attach it to the other one. Alright, so I'm going to take some adhesive and temporarily tack this down. This lined up where I want it, because I want this hole to match up. So now we'll slide that back where it was and tape it in place. And now I'll run it through this other piece. All right, I had to reach over to my Gemini machine for that. This was too wide to fit in the MIDI. Now we're done with that die. Oh, that stuck down more than I thought. So we're just going to stick some glue in here. Glue on this side. So if the temporary adhesive sticks too much, you just put the glue around it. And it will be fine. So now our frame will fit right over here. use my dotted tape pen for this. Just be gentle with the filigree. And whenever using a Crafter's Companion tape pen, it will jam up on you if you do not flick it at the end. I have learned that the hard way. Alright, so now you're going to put that on here. Back. Take our side panels. Now I'm going to attach these two little trim pieces here. You absolutely could leave these plain. I just think it gives the card a little bit of a finish. And all those panels are done. Alright, so now this will fit in here. And these two are the same length, so they'll just go top to bottom. And this here, the back of this, will glue to this end. And we were going to glue the back of this to that end, and that's what will make it pop up in the middle. So we have to decide where we want to put our Santa Claus. And this, like I said, is just from the Hunky Dory pad that I got last year. And that pad had so many pictures in it, I'll probably have that for the next 5 years. Let's see. This is here. Let's decide. I want to see a little more of his bag. That looks good. Let's straighten it out a little bit. Put it a little more in the middle. I'm just going to hold it here to see. I think that will look good. I think that's good placement. Okay. Alright, so now we're going to put glue along the back side here. This will attach to here. Flush. So you want it flush against the outside, the top, and the bottom. And we'll glue the other side. And yes, Molly is with us again, snoring under the table. Make sure that's nice and stuck and flush. And there you have it. That's the basic mechanism of the card. So then it folds flat, and then when you open it, it becomes a Shadowbox. It's that simple. So for the outside, I was thinking we'd have a season's greeting and some leaves. But now I'm not thoroughly convinced of that. I think I'm going to go with a belly band like I did with the other card. I think I like that a lot better. So I think I will attach this little topper, just this season's greeting. And this came from the acrylic stamp set. Let's see. This is what happens when you change your mind. Let's see. So let's go around that with some ink. Let's go with smoked pearl. Let's see. A complete audible here. Let's see. I'm thinking green for the belly band. All right, let me grab a piece of green paper. So what we're going to do is take a piece, fold it around the back of the card. I want to make sure it's not too tight. You don't want it too hard to take the belly band off. We'll put some glue on this side, some glue on this side. That's even. We'll place down the center in the middle. This is going to go in the back here. See, you don't have to stick with the original plan. You can always change your mind halfway through. That's not going to work because it's going to stick too far out. All right, we'll let this dry for a moment. Let's see. Do we want to put some sparkle on here? This is a Spectre Noir Sparkle water-based pen. that dry. And let's see. I think that will be good. Let's see if this is dry enough. Alright, so there's our finished card. With the belly band, slide off the belly band, the flat card, and then when you open up, it's a Shadowbox. Just like so this is the snowman one, which also used a paper from the Hunkadory notepad that I have. Put the Crafter's Companion paper on the front. And then the other one, I use the Pink and Main. This is the Santa Claus and the Elves, which are their new Christmas squares. And this paper here was Crafter's Companion. So there you are. A nice and simple Gatefold Shadowbox card. I hope you give it a try. And I hope you enjoyed this. And until next time, happy crafting!